Meteorologist Matt Makins here. It's Friday, December 19th with the answer to that most important question for the time of year. Will it be a white Christmas? For many of us, no. We have record heat of all things on the way, so a bit of a bah humbug. But here to answer that question, painted in white here, areas projected to have at least a little bit of snowfall on the ground for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. You can see a vast majority of the country does not have that, but upper Midwest, Great Lakes, New England, pockets of the West will have some snow on the ground, and certainly across Canada too. So for this time, it's just looking at snow on the ground. What about, is snow going to fall Christmas Day? Maybe melt, but fall at least. We'll have that answer in just a moment, trying to be as specific as we can. And thank you for supporting the channel as we break down the weather from coast to coast for you. Trying not to leave anybody out. Storm system across the Great Lakes exits pretty quickly, but the Pacific Northwest keeps a very steady flow. Tremendous amount of water is headed to the Pacific coast in the form of rain, snow mix. But again, across the Great Lakes, we had a system skirting on by and grabbed some water here for the East Coast. So by and large, where will we be as we hit Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? Right? If we truly want a white Christmas, maybe it's snow on the ground for you, maybe it's snow falling or a combo. Here we are, Christmas morning. Santa's wrapped up with the gift deliveries. Where are we? Blue areas, there's some snowfall for the west, snow in parts of Canada, but we have rainfall across the Ohio Valley and parts of the Great Lakes, rainfall by and large across the Southwest. That's Christmas morning. So depending on how you look at that definition, white Christmas or not, well, some of us will have snow on the ground. Most of us will not have snow falling on us as we look at Christmas morning. Total precip, though, there's a lot of it on the way, and we'll dissect this map, zoom in just a moment. But two big bullseyes grab my attention. The first here is New England. Areas from Boston, New York, even around Ottawa to Halifax, quite a bit of water. West Coast, deep moisture totals here. Just a crazy amount of water is coming into California. Look at the Sierra here. There's some pockets in the yellows. That's 10 to 15 inches of rain between this time when the video is recorded through Christmas morning. Tremendous amount of water covers a lot of California, parts of Nevada as well. As you look at snowfall, what is going to be snowfall? That was just total water. How much is just falling, whether it be rain or snow? This is total snowfall on the way, and that paints a very different picture because we're so warm leading into Christmas. We're going to have some rainfall instead of snow in a lot of cases. So here is the total snowfall through Christmas morning from the time the video is recorded. Sierra, quite a bit. Pacific Northwest, quite a bit. A little bit in the Central Rockies around Jackson Hole, probably a good swath there, but you got to go into, well, Quebec mostly, out toward the Maritimes. There's going to be some pockets of snow. Extreme cases along the lakes there in New England will also have some snowfall. But let's get more specific now. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, the Pacific Range, the Cascades, what is the snowfall total going to look like? If you're looking out of Seattle, looking due east, looking up on those mountain ranges, there's going to be 2, 3, perhaps 4 feet of snowfall sitting there during the course of the next week. Sections of Idaho, Montana, there's the pocket around Jackson Hole and Yellowstone. Some of these areas, 24 to 36 inches over the next 5, 6, 7 days. Quite a bit of snowfall, good just in time for ski season. Let's move that map down to the south. There is the Sierra. So if you're looking at the Sierra, you're going to start to see the social media feeds with all that deep snow piled up around Tahoe and things. Big surge in that atmospheric river event there for California. Not much in most of Nevada, not much outside of Salt Lake City for their ski areas. And for Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, you can see the snowfall projection there. Let's skip on by. It's pretty dismal. As you look off to the east, though, there are some pockets of snowfall here around the Great Lakes. So let's zoom the map in. Here's Syracuse, New York. We have a little swath there just to the north there of 6, maybe 10 inches. Burlington up to Quebec. Well, we've got another swath there of 6, 10, perhaps 12 inches of total snowfall. But you can see coastal areas here, not much in the snow department on the way for the next week. What about cold? Well, that's kind of the problem with this Christmas season, is we're not truly cold. This animation is the temperature as it goes through the next week. Colder temperatures, meaning like teens, single digits, sub-zero, stays in Canada. Maybe briefly eclipse the upper Midwest or the Great Lakes. But you can see the warm colors on the map. Very warm outlook on the way for the weekend, the early part of Christmas week on through Christmas Day. These are the record highs to be set across the country for the week. We're hitting 80s across the south, 70s and 60s in Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota record highs, Montana record highs, New England record highs, even Maine, northern Maine will hit record highs as we go through the course of the week ahead. Hard to have a white Christmas when things are so warm, for sure. Take a look at that snowfall map again. Instead of just white showing you where we may have a white Christmas, let's fly in. We're going to see some deeper snowfall totals here. The light ranges, that's just like a trace. Okay? If you need some deeper snows, if you're searching for that, well, let's fly out to the west and see what happens as we go through Christmas. We'll start here in the Pacific Northwest. So around Boise, we've got some of that deep snow we talked about for Wyoming. Most of the west, though, if there's snow, it's just a little bit. Upper Midwest, north of Minneapolis, we'll have some deeper snow. There will be some accumulation there. Could enjoy that snowfall with some of the new Christmas toys, Santa's toys. And around New England, look at New York or Philly. Yeah, there's a hint of some snow on the ground at some points this week, but we have the record heat. So unless you're there in that moment to capture it, it's not going to last very long. So bottom line is it going to be a white Christmas? For some folks, yes, but most of us, you can see here, not necessarily likely this Christmas. Whether it's falling or watching that snow to play in on the ground, it's a pretty mild stretch here. Stay with us for the very latest. Brian and I will be back checking in with these snowfall totals. We'll refine the map. Hopefully Santa listens to this video and says, nope, we're going to change things up. Let's bring snow to more folks who are asking for it for Christmas. So we'll see. We'll have further updates in the next couple of days.